Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And guys, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, did you guys know that there was another invisible mass shooting that happened yesterday? And for some reason, it's not plastered wall to wall in the media for a 2-week time span. The gun controllers aren't out there throwing out their new gun violence solutions. We just kind of get like a half-handed retweet. What's that about? Well, there's a very interesting common theme. I'm about to walk you through the entire thing, and every time this happens, I will cover it because it exposes these people for exactly what they are: frauds who are bent on control, not on what they propose they are. Everything will be linked into the description box below, and please send this one out because this is the second one in 3 weeks that they've ignored, and they just need to be called on the carpet. And of course, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on so we can spread some freedom ocean to ocean. Let's do that. And thank you so much for that consideration. And if you have not had the opportunity to get your limited time design shirt that I designed with 9-line, this is the liberty versus tyranny side of the tree of freedom. We got liberty on one side, we got tyranny on the other. We've got descriptors of all the attributes of each one, and it showcases a new version of the liberty tree, which has been so dang thirsty. And why can't you look good while you're spreading that freedom out there on the day-to-day? Thank you so much for checking it out. There's a link in the description box below, and it'll be available until Friday of this week, so make sure you guys don't miss out. And with that, let's get into this. I cannot wait to show you this one, guys, because this is one of those things that highlights the disingenuous nature of the gun controllers, which is why we hit it. And every time it happens, I will cover it. But I'm going to do this a little bit different. I had this organized in a certain way, but let's jump around. Let me show you what they tweeted around this mass shooting that was invisible. Okay, this is what the Everytown Twitter account had. 3 people were shot and killed. Over a dozen others were wounded on a May Day celebration or party in Stockton, Alabama over the weekend. Most of the victims are reportedly young people. Only in America do celebrations frequently end in gunfire. And then they took the opportunity to take a cheap shot at Alabama. We're going to come to this in a second. Alabama has some of the weakest gun laws, lacking every foundational gun safety law, including background checks, permitting requirements to carry guns in public, and one of the highest gun death rates in the country. Now keep that in mind because we've got 2 more to go through, and then I'll show you what really happened, and you wonder why something was missing from that tweet. It's missing from this one too. Giffords.org, 3 people were shot and killed, and at least 15 others were wounded at the same party. Only in America the community events so often turn fatal by gunfire. Well, that sounds very familiar to what I just read to you from Everytown. Okay, so that was Giffords. One more, Moms Demand Action. 3 people were shot, killed, multiple others wounded. Party Stockton, most were victims younger people, according to police. Full of promise, devastated by preventable gun violence. The exact same tweet, all 3 of them. But I'm not here to say that they're tweeting the exact same thing because that's kind of obvious. They're hive mind. What I'm really here to say is, did you notice anything really odd that wasn't in those tweets? That wasn't in the media wall-to-wall coverage? There were no calls for specific action in gun control. They always do that. They do that every single time. Trust me, I study these people. I know these people. Every time they see an angle, they name a specific policy they want passed. Ethan's Law, universal background checks, safe storage laws, AWB bans, mag bans. Every single time they name a specific outcome that they want. They name a policy. They didn't across the board in all 3 of these. Now, why would that be? And the why is why we're always covering on this channel, because it's really important when it shows you what they do. Here's the actual article of what really happened, and you tell me down below why A, the media is not covering this at all, and B, the gun controllers didn't name specific policies and next steps. Check this out. 3 dead, 15 wounded in gun battle at Alabama May Day party attended by 1,000 people, said officials. This happened on Sunday. You have not heard this in the media, but let's continue. 3 people were killed and at least 15 others injured as that the gunfire broke out at the wild Alabama May Day party I just mentioned. The bloodshed at the party in the field in Stockton late Saturday came from a gun battle. That's the second gun battle we've seen that's an invisible mass shooting. The Baldwin County Sheriff's Office said late Sunday, quote, according to witnesses, the event was peaceful until an argument took place which led to at least one subject shooting multiple rounds into the large crowd, Reed said. Does this start to sound familiar at any point in time? The Memphis, the Orange Mound mass shooting that was invisible, where there was literally a war zone that we covered on this channel. Not a peep on the news at all. Gun controllers, nothing. That also started with a fight and a street takeover. This one right here had 1,000 people there. 15 were injured, 3 were killed because someone indiscriminately shot into a crowd, and bystanders were hit after a fight. Are you starting to notice a common theme here? The common theme is criminality, and that other little piece about mostly younger victims, Yeah, let's get into this. Let me show you why that might be a big thing here, and they didn't mention it more deeply. Because young people of this age cannot actually have firearms. So you're starting to see the picture develop a little bit. We do believe there may have been more shooters, and we're following up on those leads. So now you have multiple shooters. So if you're keeping track at home watching this, you've got underage children, you've got a party, indiscriminate fire, bystanders hit who were not involved, a fight had broken out, and multiple shooters. And the media is not covering this? That's really weird when we get force-fed how bad we are every time that there's a mass shooting that they do cover for 48 to 72 hours. I know, because I spend my time going and doing videos and basically getting rid of all the propaganda they spew. The point is, the gun controllers did a half-hearted response on this because it was nothing that gun control could prevent. This is criminals being criminals, shooting indiscriminately into crowds after fighting. It's the exact same thing that we saw in the other invisible mass shooting in Orange Mound in Memphis, Tennessee. The exact same thing happens again and again and again, and all they can do is they do a very cursory mention of it so they get the emotion up to show you how bad America is, but they don't tell you any of the details underlying that caused this. And because a normal person would go, well, wait a minute, that doesn't sound like it's a problem with guns. That sounds like it's a problem with criminality, fighting, and violence. But we can't do that because then it undermines the gun control narrative. I got one more thing for you. And here we go. This is where the young people come in. Most of the victims were younger people, Captain Andre Reed told the TV channel. This is a tragic event that touches many lives in our community. We are working very hard to bring this case to a resolution, but we cannot make arrests or successfully prosecute the offenders without help, the sheriff's office said. So no one's talking to the police. You got 15 people who were wounded by indiscriminate fire into a crowd of people who were innocent to the fight that was going on. 3 are dead for a total of 18 people, which easily classifies for the mass shooting under the Gun Violence Archive and the Democrats and CNN and the CDC and FBI for that matter, but not a peep. And the people who are actually there aren't talking to the police to solve the problem. The reason that I'm going to keep covering these things like this is because it's quite obvious. The problem is not the inanimate object. The problem is not our rights that are ours, not the government's to grant to us. The problem is criminality. The problem is our culture. I say this all the time. We have a problem with our hearts and our minds, not what's within our hands. We have an issue in this country for dang sure, but it has nothing to do with the availability of our rights. It has to do with the criminality and the lack of responsibility and accountability that comes into what's going on here in our culture. And that's what I've got for you. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.